All right, so it's Friday night. Um, we're gonna have some fun. Tonight, I've got a buddy of mine, David Driscoll. So I make the joke that RX is for wizards, right? Like people probably haven't ever seen that, but RX is generally like wizarding, and I am keen on the movie Sorcerer's Apprentice. So I always tell people like I'm like in my apprentice phase of this RX stuff. I haven't reached full fledged wizard yet. I'm still trying to earn my stripes. And one of the people that's been helping me and actually kind of gave me a kick out the door to start learning RX is David Driscoll. So he's here tonight to help me look at some stuff, answer some questions, and kind of figure out how I'm going to solve some problems and just kind of walk through some of the problem solving techniques around RX, specifically as it relates to tonight. We're going to look at some timers, some queues, and potentially some test scheduling stuff because we're probably going to break directly into to unit testing, as it were. So, what you see here is an app that I'm actually building for a talk. Side note, if you are not aware, React, and let me go ahead and plug this real quick. If you are not aware, Reactive UI is hosting their first ever RxUI conference. I'm going to go ahead and paste that link in the chat now. So, we are hosting our first ever Reactive UI conference, and David's actually going to be one of the speakers at the conference as well as I. So for the conference, I'm building this application, and I figured I might as well go on ahead and work on it on stream because, why do I need to keep it secret from everybody? You're going to see it in a couple of weeks anyway if you come and show up, and if you don't, then you get a chance to see me do some of it here. So it's kind of the skinny of where we are. I'm just wiring up some of the ILC stuff as we go. QEUE service. There we go. All right, so that's wired up. So I've got a singleton queue service, and that means my queue.
IOC. I thought you used dry IOC.
Yeah, so it's okay. You bring it up. So if you'll notice this Shiny startup, I'm actually using a library by Alan Ritchie called Shiny, which handles a lot of cross-platform Xamarin stuff for you that you would have to solve for yourself. Things like push notifications, things like location services. So because all of that's in one package, and he uses a ASP.NET Core style startup. I'm kind of just using his, and then we've got a Splat registration under the hood. See here, we're using use Microsoft Dependency Resolver. So because he does his startup based on that, I'm just kind of wiring my way back in there, actually doing that specifically to show how to use Shiny with RxUI in the event that you wanted to use that in the future. So that's why that's there. So thanks for
Hmm.
looking at my ugly
Now I
stuff.
have to go look at Shiny.
Oh, Shiny's awesome. So Alan has been like a really big help for a lot of people in the Xamarin community. He's written a couple of libraries that I personally have used throughout my career as a Xamarin developer, and it's really interesting his approach to doing Shiny. As a matter of fact, specifically for the Bluetooth stuff, he unapologetically takes a dependency on system.reactive. He's just like, I don't care if you don't like it, we're using it. Go find something else if it doesn't fit for
Well,
your need. And I'm just like, yes.
system reactive and system async, system interactive async, and system interactive should just be in the box.
I agree. Like, I don't understand why it's not in the box, but you and I could stand on that soapbox for probably hours, having that conversation. Okay.
And then have Fowler yell at us and say we're wrong.
Well, just because he doesn't like it doesn't mean it's not good. Or I won't even say that he doesn't like it. I want to say that he tweeted about using it for the first time recently, and he said it was interesting. So I'm like, okay, that's a step in the right direction. Okay, so what we're focusing on today is like the concept of this is I've got some queue that I, as a user of this application, can build up, right? Like, so I can say I want to go. So here you see three stores that I'm talking about. So we can talk about like I want to go to Academy. I want to go to do these things during my day. So I want to queue up for something right away. And what this application is going to do is it's going to monitor all that stuff, behind the scenes, and let you know if there's updates to times at on like almost kind of like a wait list. So what we want to do is for each one of these items in this list, we want to present a timer that will tell us what the expected wait time is left. And we want to allow some SignalR service, something that's going to push us data to tell us that, hey, I've got new data for you, and it may change your current state. So when your current state is changed, go on ahead and reset your timer. So like, let's say I'm in queue for Home Depot, and Home Depot just has max occupancy for the time period. Then the Home Depot time wait would end up upping 40 minutes. I would get that notification on my mobile application and look at it and say, oh well, now I can't go to Home Depot next. I need to go change my entire plan and go to Kroger first, or whatever the case may be. So these would be like presented in a collection view, and I think I have that collection view wired up here. I do. I don't know if this is actually wired up to do anything. It's not. Oh no, don't do that. Let's see if we can just set up a one-way binding on the name real quick. This dot one-way bind. Oh, maybe we should do it in the constructor, David, where things like that belong.
You can't do that in there.
Right. I'm glad somebody's paying attention to what I'm supposed to be doing and what I'm not supposed to be doing. So this dot one-way bind. One-way bind.
One. You want it? WN.
Yeah. You know what? How about you stop being smart?
Hey, I'm just as bad a typist as you
Oh
are.
my gosh. This is I stole this code from another thing that I'm doing, and I didn't get a chance to change the name, so we'll change this to no. Let's change it to store name. Next. All right, so we'll go ahead and do dispose with, because we are a good RX citizen. We have view disposables. We'll get rid of those. And now,
So when's dispose with and reactive object going to be their own package?
you know what? You and everybody else has been bugging me about that this week, and I'm tired of it. I don't know when it's going to happen.
That's why I said something.
I know. Well, it's funny. Somebody was messaging me about it in Slack earlier, and it's not that
I've seen it at least 3 times this week.
I know, and it's not that we don't want to. It's just,
it's a breaking change.
Yes, it's a breaking change.
So do it as effectively a breaking change.
No.
Ooh, you can make a separate.
It is a breaking change, flat out.
No. I have a great idea.
I don't want to hear your idea right now.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead, David. What's your idea?
No, just make it as a separate package and include the source files cross.
Oh God,
from
that's so
one
dirty.
to the other.
That's so dirty.
It's dirty, but it'll work. And then it's not a breaking change until you make it a breaking change later and normalize it in the future. And that way we can get our cake and eat it too.
No. You get your cake and eat it too, while I have to clean up. Yeah, right.
I don't care about you.
I know. You don't care about me, the guy that has to do the stuff and make sure that all your shit doesn't break. You just want what you want. I get it. Ugh.
Yeah, I just want what I want.
Yeah, I get it. And you can have what you want. Eventually. So this will give us.
It's a good idea.
It is.
I'm proud.
David, it is a good idea.
I don't have good ideas.
Oh, you know what? You're just gonna be ornery this whole time, aren't you? You're making me second guess whether or not I should even ask you to come help me today. That's a lie. I'm not second guessing that at all. I need your help. Sorry, I'm being rude. All right, so we'll just do a quick transform. New queued item view model. What?
Is that like an awesome thing?
X? No, X is Rodney still not being able to type. Which X? What are you talking about?
Man, we need. It had X new. I'm like, what's X new?
Right? I told you.
So like the X-Men new, like
this guy. This guy. No, just that bind out underscore Q. No, we don't want that. We want read-only observable collection. Read-only. And the worst part is, like, if I do that there, I have to. Okay, there we go. That's fine. Bring in the package. Do the thing. Subscribe. So yeah, we're just setting up all of the dynamic data stuff, and then we're gonna run this thing and see if it actually does what we expect it to do. View model subscriptions, or is it just subscriptions? Yes, it's just subscriptions. There we go. This should import that missing reference. Now our queue will wire up.
I was trying to figure that out. I'm like, why is there? And it's just because you didn't have reactive and imported.
Yeah, it does that every time. And like I've had people come in and ask questions about that, like, hey, why doesn't that work? And I'm like, do you have the right namespace import? And I was like, oh, I've done it more times than I care to count. Like looking at like why won't it work? And then I'm like, Alt Enter. Oh, because the namespace isn't there. I'm smart. I am.
What's that other error on the X?
It's the fact that this isn't taking in the right. Oh, this is just taking in those types. Okay, that's what that error is. It's that Rodney is doing that instead of just taking in the entire object, which I can go.
Ah,
I can go back and change that
okay.
later. Nope. Thank you for pointing. And I have this red squiggly over here, and I don't know why I have it. It's probably something on the.
I think it went away.
No, it's still here,
No.
which is weird because if I go to errors in solution, okay, that's what it is.
Oh,
It
it's
needs to
some
clean.
magic.
Yeah, it's the magic files, and they're probably gonna like crap themselves when I run this thing. But oh well.
Yeah, source generators don't work in Rider yet. I was like, oh no.
Really?
Yeah, that just shows red
I thought they do.
for anything that's source generated.
I'm pretty sure they work, but it's like you have to compile it once. I think is the bug.
Nope.
Really?
Nope.
Lachlan Gordon, welcome, welcome.
The
Ah, yes,
the
Lachlan. This is my friend David. David's. I'm pointing to the left, like you can see him, right? Because he's sitting right next to me. He's not. This is a friend of mine.
he's over there.
Yeah, right. He's smart, and he's helping me not be stupid today. I brought him reinforcements because brains.
I'm just here to fucking annoy you.
Yeah, we know that.
Not supposed to swear. I'm
Yeah.
here to annoy.
Yes, we know. I dropped a couple of French words a couple of minutes ago.
So we're. I need to open the Twitch chat.
Yeah, you can join in and troll
Twitch.
me even
That's
more.
Twitter.
Well, and it's funny because a lot of people join
Twitch.
my stream just to like troll me, which actually I enjoy. It's fun. Like it's Friday night, we're writing code. Let's troll each other. If we can't troll each other, how can we really call each other friends? Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've got our view model wired up. What am I missing? Oh, I need to go back over here because the second I go to run this thing's going to be like, hey, I know you want to do things, but you're not going to do them. Uh-oh.
I have Prime Loot apparently on Twitch.
What? Oh, you're
Uh
talking.
I'm just messing with you, sir.
No, it's okay. I have the things. Oh, here we go. I'm like, because I created specific extension methods for this project that I don't normally use. I'm like, wait, where's the thing? Okay, so yeah, Q comes before S, don't it? So today, Q's, not view, just Q's. There we go. So today, Lachlan Gordon, we're working on some timer stuff. I can ask chat. You're
What is with you and timers?
I use them all the time.
Always
Like it's
timers.
because I'm always using them. So, well, the one you originally helped me with, like I'm trying to build a library around it, and this is just another use case that I think is going to end up in that library. So, like I'm trying to find a consistent API. So, actually, part of the reason why I asked you to come help me today is I'm hoping that you help me find the interfaces that I want to use in order to be able to get this working.
Okay.
To contribute back and create a reusable library set. Because there was somebody, and I'm gonna butcher names because I'm bad at names, but somebody else on Twitter that knows me through the community was like, "Hey, Rodney, I see you were doing some stuff on timers. I have timers that I need too, and we have some in our app, and they weren't the greatest. So if you figure this out, would you open source it?" I'm like, "Of course. That's the whole point, is so that I'd never have to write this again." So if we solve all the use cases, then I just have a set of timers I can pull in on every single project. So let's see if we can figure out this use case and add it to the puzzle. Because you're probably going to tell me, "Oh, Rodney, we need to not do it this way." And I want to see if we can create some consistent interfaces, right? Like
I would never do something
that's
like
all
that
you
to you.
do is tell me, "Oh, Rodney, that's not the right way to do it. You should do it this way."
I would never do that. Never.
Yeah, okay, sure, whatever. Anyway, you're getting me off topic. I don't like to be off topic. So let's.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Okay, I'll behave.
Yeah, no, you won't, but it's okay. The funny thing is like after everybody has stopped paying attention to this stream, we're probably going to continue doing this well into the night because this is kind of like what we do. Okay, so this will happen in the constructor of the queue service. So that means we'll add all the stuff there. because I'm like slamming F5. I don't even know if this code is actually going to run. Yeah, this will happen in the constructor, so this should work. Let's put a breakpoint. That's probably the smart thing to do, right? Is to put, hey, it's doing the thing. And we get an exception. What is our, it's an overflow exception. IQ service. What is my
Overflow.
object reference? Which object are we referencing that is not set to an instance of an object? We did register the queue service, didn't we? You watched us do that, didn't you?
I don't know.
Is the incoming queue... Did I really just do that? Is the incoming queue service not? No. All right, now's the time in the day when we start pinning stuff that we care about so we can get rid of the stuff we don't. So we definitely care about that. We kind of care about the queue service, and we kind of care about the queue view model. So let's close all the but pinned. And let's look at, okay, so we added the queue service as a singleton. So it's there, it's registered. This will add the queue service, queues view model. That takes the dependency on the queue service. So that should all work, right? Like that's registered for navigation. Let's make sure that our register for navigation works. Yep, so we're registering transient iView 4T view. So all that should work. I'm not crazy yet, am I? And we're saying that the queue service, so what else gets injected into the queue? Nothing gets injected into the queue service. Oh,
Back up.
derp. You see what I did?
Yeah, I was gonna say the cache. Oh, ah.
Yeah, there you go. Right? Let's return the cache so that when it calls for it, it actually has something.
Should you do that, or should you do assign it as an I guess no, just do as observable cache.
Yes, there should be like a as observable cache. That way they can't cast it back out. That is extremely smart, David. Thank you.
That way people like me can't do things they're not supposed to.
Right now, in a Xamarin application, I probably care less about that. Now, I do the same thing when I use subjects, right? Like anytime I use a subject, I do like as observable so that any consumer can't cast me back out as a subject and then start firing off on next, like, haha, I'm gonna jack with your stuff. In a Xamarin application, it probably doesn't matter as much, but as I always say, we should be good stewards of the code. So suck less. So we try to be good stewards of the code and do the thing the right way. So now that should work, right? Because we're actually returning a value. So okay, you were gonna say, should I set this in the constructor? Was that what you were gonna say, or were you saying something else?
Yeah, set it as on the auto prop.
I could.
I'm just. I don't know what the right solution is there. Just
I don't
was
either.
asking the question.
I don't either. I think I'm gonna say no in the general sense because
that answer is sufficient.
Okay. Okay, so our application at least loads, right? So we've got a loaded application here, just so that we're not lying to you. You can see it. The thing does nothing when we do stuff, but we've got a loaded page. I'm kind of sure we expected to see something on this page, but maybe we broke it and didn't do it right. That's possible. And I don't think I care enough right now to figure that out, because it's not really pertinent to what we're trying to do today. Like the Xamarin aspect of it is less important than the overall, hey, oh, you know why I did that, David? I think I know why.
I don't know because I don't do Xamarin.
Yeah, I know you don't do Xamarin.
I see XAML, my eyes roll up.
XAML is something I'm still becoming more comfortable with. This dot. Oh wait, no, we can bind it directly here. Let's just bind it on the XAML because we're not trying to be smart today. Let's bind it on the XAML. So that's like one of my own. So that's a quirk I do not like about Rider. If you notice what just happened, like I hit backspace in the XAML, and now this becomes the thing, and it just happens so fast. They could use a throttle there. That would be great. Throttle your changes. Yeah, I find
and add source generators.
Yes, definitely add source generators. I feel like we should.
That's the important.
We should make a phone call to our friend and tell him, hey, you need to go do that like right now.
He'll be like, no.
He'll be like, Rodney David, shut up.
He'll be wait till the next EAP.
Right?
And he's not wrong.
He's not wrong. Well, they just released a new EAP today that I downloaded. Are you on it already? Because I am.
What?
Yeah, there's new E. I'm almost 100% positive there was a new
No,
EAP
no,
update.
you got upgraded to 2020.2.
Yeah, that's what I'm running right now. But I'm looking at it. I got it earlier today. Oh, okay. I wasn't on 2020.2. Never mind.
Yes, exactly. Yeah,
I heard what you said after I stopped to pay attention.
that's okay. We don't pay attention to each other.
No, we don't.
That's the whole point.
Isn't it? Oh my God! Did you see what Ryder just did? Ryder is so smart.
No,
You didn't see that? Okay, so
no.
I'm typing this thing in, right? And I'm like, okay, I want to do this. And then I'm like, it's a get only property, right? And I hit tab and it already knows that there's the underscore Q and it just
Nice.
puts it in there. And I'm like, oh my God, it's the little things. The little
Is
things
that
that
new?
make, I don't know if that's new. I just saw it for the first time. So I'm going to assume that that's new as of like now. Okay, let's give it this thing an X data type just so that we don't have to look at squigglies because we don't like squigglies. So another thing I'm going to do one of these days is I'm going to figure out how to make the Xamarin Forms. So like we do that iView4. I'm going to figure out how to make the X argument type automatically wire up to the X data type in Xamarin Forms so that way you don't have to declare both. You can just declare one and be done because that would be the bee's knees. All right, so let's run this thing again, and hopefully now Rodney's not a horrible developer and doesn't look ridiculous. Binding property doesn't exist, yeah? You're gonna tell me that that's not... Oh, wrong stinking binding. You still with me, David?
So what?
Oh, Skype flickered. Skype did a thing where it was like, hey, I don't know what you want me to do. And my wife is probably
Yeah,
home and live streaming, or she's probably streaming some Netflix downstairs, which is probably gonna eat my
telling
bandwidth.
you, you need to get some better internet.
Yeah, so I gotta buy my wife a house first, and then I can get better internet. Okay.
Assuming the house has better internet near it.
Who's to say I won't choose the house based on the better internet?
You better.
That's like all par for the course, right? I gotta have better internet so you don't
Right.
talk bad about me and tell me my internet's bad. It's funny. So some of the
Your internet is
hey
bad.
specific cast is not
Hey, the Starlink stuff looks pretty good now.
which Starlink stuff.
FYI. SpaceX.
Oh
They're
yeah,
launching satellites and they're going to do the low Earth orbit internet sat.
yeah
They're getting 60 down, 10 up,
that does look pretty
which
interesting.
is for like V1 is not bad.
What did I not do, David? You're the dynamic data genius. What did I not do?
Huh? What?
And it just blew up and told me I'm not smart. So clearly I didn't do something properly. That's all getting set correctly. These don't matter. We can get rid of these for now. That's no, not all of them. Just the ones we don't need. Okay, that's reactive object. All that's set correctly in my view. This thing should be bound to the Q item view model. It's a content view base. The view model is here. Item, oh man, do you notice that Ryder now knows that this is nullable? Ugh. Ugh. I hate that.
I told you got to change how you model that.
Yes, I know, but it's not as easy as you think it is, David. Or at least I don't think it's as easy as you think it is. Like solving the world's problems is not easy in my brain. One of these days it will be. Connect ref count, so I'm connecting to the queue, right? And I'm transforming. The queue should already have data in it, and it was giving me an error on the specified cast not valid, right? So that's got to be something in my... Oh. That's easy to fix.
No idea.
Yeah, you don't know. This is a Xamarin thing. So I know exactly what needs to happen there. So here we'll get rid of all that. We'll just make it a collection view. This will also be a collection. What happened was this. In Xamarin Forms, and save it real quick. So the way we had it before, this was a list view. And this isn't actually a content view under the hood, a content view base. In Xamarin Forms, a list view requires that property to be a view cell. So I would have to wrap this in a view cell, but I actually don't want this to be a item view or list view. I want it to be a collection view. Lachlan Gordon was here while we were playing around with list view, trying to get parity with collection view, because collection view is the future, and I need to prove to Xamarin that they can't move to the future until they make sure that everything from the past still works. So it's been one of my
That makes sense.
my things. Okay, so now all this should work, right? Like we should hold our vendors to a higher standard and force them to make sure that they don't deprecate functionality without telling us.
Or pick a name like Maui.
No comment. And
Hey, I'm allowed to say it's a dumb name because it's a dumb name.
okay, there we go. Look at that. We got a thing on the screen and it says Academy. That's amazing. I have no idea why nothing else in my list spit out, but whatever. Anyway, so you get the point, right? We're gonna have this card here that's gonna be a store, right? And it's gonna have a name, and then I'm gonna tell the store to in somewhere on here there's gonna be some timer, right? So like I want to be able to go out, call the API, or better yet, get pushed from some SignalR service that something is going to happen, and we're going to sit here and basically every time that service gets updated on this screen, I'm just going to live update all the cards that you have on here because your new time changed or whatever the case may be. Does that make sense, David? What we're the problem statement that we're trying to solve. So, to David's point, we have solved some of these things before. And I've got.
So it took us what, 25 minutes to get to this point? Cool.
For those of you that don't know, David and I have known each other for a very long time. So, yeah, I care not for his jokes.
I'm just being sarcastic.
I care not for your jokes, sir. Either help me with the technology or keep your sass, sir.
I am helping you. I'm just saying.
Are. I know. You can't help me without giving me sass.
Hey, last night took us like 3 hours, and I thought it was faster.
Holy shnikes, right? And then so I go to push it to the YouTube channel after all that we did. I can't find the video. Like
Twitch, I know, I saw that.
Twitch wasn't set up to keep the video, so Twitch was just like, oh, I'm not gonna like. I don't know, and this is for whoever runs Twitch. Whoever decided that the default would be not to store the video needs to be flogged. Like they need to be taken out back and flogged for that decision. And I say that as a developer.
It's called Twitch, not CodeStream. So
right?
I understand why that's the default.
I don't because idiots like me aren't smart enough to not go look at that before they change the target that they're streaming against.
The LAN party that I used to go to is when I was a teenager. Did all digital this year, so I joined on that. And they're like, "Why are you using that as your name on Twitch?" And I'm like, "Because I do code streaming." Because it wasn't my alias. I'm like, yeah,
makes sense.
I don't want to have 2 Twitch accounts. I'm lazy.
Yeah. Okay, so in Xamarin, the way I generally try and handle things, David, is to allow the list to be a list and have the controlling view model act on that list. I don't know if we'll be able to get away with that here because, well, we might be able to, right? Because like when it updates, we can probably like inject something into the dynamic data cache, right? And update the thing. Or better yet, when we get the data, it'll actually be gotten from some API, right? So the queue service will be able to respond and update. So those values will update. So I think that the item view model would actually be where we would have to do that response anyway, wouldn't it? Because each individual item is changing and we wouldn't like, and the data behind it will change. So we can get it to any time that this will take a value, right? Like, okay, so actually let's go set that up real quick, right? So like, let's say we'll do like a date time offset. And that'll be the remaining time, yeah? Or, well, that'll be the, remaining queue time, right? That works. Bike shedding. Now, if Ryder knew how to do that for me, then I would just be like, Ryder for president, yeah?
Don't worry, once we get code generators.
Oh, yeah, once I get code generators, I won't be doing any of this anyway, so you're right. But still. it would still be a nice value add to not force me to. Because I mean, it knew how to do the other one. Why didn't it know how to do that one? Yeah. Okay, so now I've got like this remaining queue time. So technically, I can just allow my DTO to pass that up. Actually, let's go do that to the queue store DTO. So we'll add that here.
Is it really a remaining queue time if it's a date?
That's a time span. Thank you.
Now, should it be a time span? I kind of like the date. Like the server should be able to project the date out.
The date. Yeah, but well, okay, so maybe. So let's talk about that, right? So like the concept is if I've already got this timer running, right? And I'm running on this thing, that's going to be a date time or that's going to be a time span anyway, right? So if we get a date time offset from the server, we'll have to compute more stuff. But if you give us a time span, right? Like, hey, this like, oh, we're going to have to calculate this anyway, actually, though.
Well, yeah, because you want the server to say this is the projected maybe window, start window, end window, like dates, or a date and a time span.
Well, this is going to get more complex later because the other one of the other requirements that I want to try and implement is like let's say the queue timer is longer than the date time offset of when the store closes. I would want that to flash red to let you know that hey, you're not actually going to make it.
Mm.
Yeah, right. So like that's a future requirement, but that is one thing that I want to do, and then I want to be able to sort these things based upon that. Why did it not? I'm sorry, I'm just like looking at this and trying to figure out why it only picked the last one in the list to bind.
Add or update lists. Source cache is off the ID. I never set the ID.
What are you talking about?
Line 10.
Line 10. Set the ID?
Yeah, but you never set the ID. So what's the ID set to?
Oh.
Empty good.
Oh, it's funny because, okay, so it's funny that you bring that up, yeah. In my normal way of doing this, like my DTO, this is actually what I'm going to do real quick. So so I pulled this code out of another project, right? Because let's duplicate all the code. So generally, that's the way I do that. That way, if you don't provide me a value, that way, if you don't provide me a value, I force one on you. But then, that's why, because it's an adder update and the value is GUID.empty.
Yeah, exactly, because you never said it.
Yeah, because I'm smart.
SMRT.
Doe. Somebody I work with today gave a Superman 3 reference, and I was tickled. Oh, I was tickled. Okay, so back to the problem, right? So like, how do we want to handle that? What are we gonna do? Like, would we want the server to return us the date time offset, or would we want them to return us the time span of what the new queue timer is?
Well, if you do that, then the server's going to have to send their time span a heck of a lot more often.
Well, no, it only needs to send the time span when it changes, right? So think of it this way, like, right, you give me a time span of an hour, and I'm going along happy path, nothing's happening, and 40 minutes into my hour, okay, now something happens at Home Depot and their time changes. They update the server. The signal R says, hey, I've got this new time span for Home Depot. Give me that, right? Give me that value. No?
I'm just thinking.
I know. It's funny because I'm not looking at you over Skype. I'm looking at you over the live stream. So it's like I see you sitting there looking. Say what now?
It's nebulous. It's nebulous. The date is nebulous. Or the time span, because it doesn't have like time span from when, right? It's going to be when it was received. What if the notification was delayed by 5 minutes? Right?
I hate that you are talking me into this. For the record,
I'm just trying to figure out what makes the most sense.
You're doing exactly why I asked you here, sir, to make me not make stupid decisions. Okay, that does make sense, right? Because without a point of reference, how does the server know? And the server should be the point of reference, right? Like it should be the one projecting that daytime offset to let us know. and we can convert a date time offset to a time span easily enough.
Yeah, you can get the current time span, and then the server could also give you like the remaining. Could have like a time and a time span, which is the you know a window, right? A window of time that the store is open. I don't know if you want to do that,
I think I want to do that calculation on the mobile application only
but
because,
not necessarily on the server. Yeah,
yeah, because I want to do it relative to my user's locale. So that, and that'll be on device. I don't want to keep that information with the user's profile if I don't have
yeah.
to. At least for this, like if in a full fidelity app, if I was going to ship this to like the app store, then yes, I would probably go that route, or I could probably go that route, because I would have to have some user settings anyway. But I'm just trying to show in this application what I'm trying to show is how to use RX to architect a Xamarin app. Because what I hear so many times from people is, okay, Rodney, that search example is great, but you can't build an app with it, and I'm like, you tell me that it does this thing really well, which is hard without RX, but you can't build an app around it. And I'm like, that don't sound right to me. And I get it, right? Like it's okay, that's a really cool example, but how do I actually use it? So giving people an example, like an actual real world example that's not contrived and is maybe not production ready, but is close to a minimum viable product. Anyway, so you're saying now that we could even do like a remaining queue time, which would give us the daytime offset and potentially the time span, yeah, and the time span from the store.
I mean, you could. No, no. Well, I was thinking like a time span relative to the offset, right? So
Ah, okay.
you know, it is what's your window of time you're allowed to enter the store whenever you want, right? Is it like 10 minutes?
Ah, I see what you're saying.
Because it's not necessarily going to be an absolute time.
Well, but I'll have that information. So one of the things on the store itself, like on the store DTO, is it's going to give me the open and close times here. Right, so I have the open and close time on the store, so I can always cross-reference the store and pull that information out and do a calculation. And
Yeah,
that and
let's just
that
leave the
was
time for now.
so
Can
just
always be changed later
okay. So
or
we'll just do
expanded
the
upon later.
time, the date time offset for now.
Yeah, yeah, I think so.
Okay, I think that'll be sufficient, candidly, but that's a good point. Okay, so we've got that, and we can now bubble that up to the view model, to the item view model. Yay, daytime offset, remaining queue time. We're gonna change this to just taking a DTO and do all the stuff.
Breaking change. How dare you? I don't care.
I'm not quite sure I care if you care.
Right?
It's like, yep, I broke it. I'm the only consumer. Go away.
Oh, game constructor came online. Who's
What?
game constructor?
Oh,
Oh, he
Game
left.
Constructor came on. Hey, Game Constructor, welcome to the party.
Is he still there?
Yeah, he's here somewhere. Game Constructor is another guy from the RxUI community that is always
Cool.
helpful to me and has helped me understand in Grok RX when I was first coming to it. So he it's morning for him where he is. So this is like his Saturday morning thing is to sit and listen to me rant about how bad of a developer I am. I don't know why you would want to do that on Saturday morning, but we appreciate the company. Okay, so that changes that. That breaks this. Now we can just do X here. That was that X earlier because I'm used to just passing an X and just doing the thing, yeah.
It was the X that I said that's a bad idea. You're like, oh yeah, yeah it is.
Wait, X is what I said. Wait, what? No, I didn't.
Well, I didn't say it was a bad idea, but I said it was an error. Never
Yes,
mind.
you said it was an error, and I'm like, no, it shouldn't be, and that's because I'm used to setting up my view models this way. So I'm just like, oh, okay, oops, I didn't do the thing correctly. All right, so have we had that simulator there the whole time? That's kind of a bad experience. Just sitting there looking at it. Oh, it was open and it was running something. There we go. I got too many windows open and too much stuff going on.
And I think the lag is me. Every once in a while, I open something, my CPU takes too much stuff.
Ah.
I've set Skype now to have real-time priority, so hopefully that
Oh,
helps.
look at that, David. Now we're being smart.
Hey, look at that! If you assign the identifier or change the cache, it works.
I was like, add or update. We're only getting one. It's like, oh yeah, well, there you go.
They have Kroger in Texas?
Yeah, The
Oh,
first time I ever saw Kroger was when I lived in Atlanta, but Kroger's in Texas. The main
yeah.
the main supermarket here is HEB, but Kroger's not
Okay,
too
I've heard
far
that
from
name.
here.
Yeah, Kroger left North Carolina actually.
Really, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder why.
Well, they own Harris Teeter, which is everywhere. So
There you go.
walked out with one brand and left the other. Sorry, brand trivia.
Right. All right. So we've got other labels, right? So that's the store name. So I have no idea where these things are going to actually show up, but we're going to do the thing. We're going to do. Let's just grab that. All right. So we'll copy that. And I say I have no idea. I have no idea only because Rodney is being lazy and doesn't want to go look at the XAML and see what it actually is supposed to bind to. We're just gonna put it on the screen and see what happens because that's the way you do things. Um, X dot coffee species, which we're gonna change in a second to remaining time. So that's just the label. Dispose with. So you don't know this, David, but there's this thing called like hot reload, and hot reload is awesome. Other than when you make C# changes, it doesn't actually do anything. What I find is when I use dynamic data behind the hood, the dispose mini ends up getting kicked off, and I always end up repainting the list, and there's no data there, and I'm like, oh, I'm so sad. Um,
Hot reload is awesome. The web has hot reload.
Yes, the web has hot reload, and us mobile developers in the .NET space have been without it for some time. We've got XAML hot restart was the first thing. Now we've got hot reload, but it still doesn't do code. Yeah, see, it just
That's
broke.
coming with the wonderful Maui, is it not?
I don't know. I have to check. I'm not aware that it's coming with Maui out of the box. Like the MVU stuff does it, like the Comet stuff, it does it, but that's working on the continuous framework from Frank Krueger, if I'm not mistaken, which is a completely different thing.
Mm.
But it would be nice to be able to, because like not being able to do this was like one of the hardest things about becoming a Xamarin developer, and I'm able to get around it most days because like I can now like, and I asked another smart person, Adam Pedley. I'm probably butchering his name, but I asked Adam one day about that and was like, how do you get to the point where, you know, that's not a problem anymore? And he's like, just practice. I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. State, are you
Well, and if you're doing a lot of unit testing and stuff as well, then um, it doesn't become as important because
it,
once you bind it up, everything's working already.
Well, it's not. So the reason for hot
Ish.
restart is more so for the
Ish.
styling of the page and not the way the functionality works. Because I agree with you. Like the way I generally do it is like this, right? Like I create my navigation service, which I can navigate to my page. I bring in my data stores into my view model, and then I bind that so that I get data, even if it's just mock data behind the scenes, right? So now I can actually just work on my view with dummy data, not connected to the internet. Cool. So now I can work on my view. So that's the hard part, right? That's the part that you need hot reload. After that, perfect. Okay. So after that, what you like, you don't really need it because yeah, you're right. You unit test your view models and you're good to go. I only really use it when I'm building a XAML page or when I'm building a UI. I don't really use it when I'm like debugging through code, unless it's like UI related code. Okay. So we've got UTC date time now there. So now we've at least got it on the screen. Okay, so how are we? So now, yeah, right, 30 minutes in, 38 minutes in. Now, how are we going to do this, David? How are we going to make this work? Are we going to try and pass in a service here? Are we going to be smart and just do it because we have this value so we can do like we don't want to do it that way. When we can do a when any value on remaining queue time, merge it with like an interval maybe. Are you lagged out or am I just talking to myself?
No, I'm here.
Okay.
I don't know.
So like every time I've done this before, it's been on a page, not in a cell. So this is a different. And I don't really want to inject it if I don't have to. But I have this. Okay, I have this decrement timer, which this is a timer base. I actually don't want to do half of this stuff here. Oh, it's a reactive object all by itself. Okay, so let's just go ahead and start it, right? So we're gonna have like a We'll do it here. We'll do it here. We'll do a new class, and we'll do like remaining time.
When you're unit testing in reactive UI, the scheduler gets changed to the test scheduler. Is that correct? The
Yes,
RX
the
app
RX app
scheduler, whatever.
schedulers get changed to the immediate thread, I believe. Is that what you're asking?
Okay. I was just wondering if it's like the actual like test scheduler class or not. That's all.
I believe. Yeah, we can pass in our own scheduler because we're gonna have to do that anyway, right? Like this is probably gonna have to depend on iScheduler because we need to be able to unit test it. Otherwise, we won't be able to unit test it. And so that's what I think I was originally gonna stream on today, and then I was like, I kind of need to do this, so maybe we'll be able to kill two birds with one stone. Still don't know, but we're starting somewhere. Okay, so this thing does all that stuff, and then I'm looking at other code and literally just doing everything I can to not just copy paste code over. Okay, so this is all time. Yeah. Laugh at me, will you?
But if you already made the code, just copy the code.
That's what I'm doing. Well, it's a decrement service, right? So it gets us like part of the way there.
Just call it Stack Overflow and copy and paste your way to
Holy
happiness.
goodness. Yes. Copy and paste the things. All right, so then we'll do it that way, right? We'll just go ahead and copy and paste this code out just to make David happy.
Oh, I don't care.
I know you don't. I don't think I care either. This will be okay. So I've got this timer has pretty much all the stuff that.
Oh no,
anyway.
no. That's not even. I don't even because you don't need the start or stop or any of that stuff. You just need that one body method.
You just want me to bring the timer?
One main.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fine.
The other stuff I don't think we need right away.
Okay.
Start small.
Yeah. Well, it works already, so just treat it like Stack Overflow, and then I treat it like Stack Overflow, and I copy and paste the solution, and he yells at me. You see how you see it live, people, how he treats me. Ugh.
Oh dear.
Right? Sound like a battered wife. Is okay running. So we gotta go grab that. And then I was trying to figure how does he know what I'm doing? And I'm like, oh wait, yeah, he knows because he's looking at my screen. I always have to be smart, David, and do things the smart way. I'm so tired of that. One of these days I'm gonna stop being smart.
I don't think you need running.
Well, I don't need any of that, right? So I don't need the do statement. Let's just delete. Okay, let's delete code. Let's go ahead and delete the code.
Oh, the do statement. Oh dear.
We don't need the scan.
You really don't like do at all.
It's not that I don't like do. It's shut up. Okay. It's not that I don't like do. We don't care about the resume time.
I don't think you need the resume time or any of that stuff.
Underscore scheduler. Yeah, we don't. Oh, did I hit the cap locks button? I think I did. All right, so we're gonna give it a scheduler to run on. We don't need this. We need this. We don't need this. This will just be whatever the default value is, which will be 1, right? That's the seed value. The accumulator dash refresh interval. Refresh interval is set to a second. Is that right?
Wait, so what do we want this value to be?
We actually want that value to be whatever. Okay, sorry. Yeah, we want that value to be whatever comes in from whatever comes in. So it's going to be the start time, I think. Yeah, okay. We don't need any of that. You're right. The refresh interval will be there. We need this is going to be the start time here. And then we're going to decrement. Okay, yeah, I pulled this from the decrement counter. Thank you. Take until greater than 0, greater than or equal to 0, and then we'll dispose this with the view model subscriptions for now. We are in a view model. We're not in a view model, so we don't actually have anything to dispose with at the moment. So we'll just do that for now, and we'll come back to that later. That's going to do an observable.create. That creates the timer. I could technically pull all that in, couldn't I? Into the observable.create. I don't need to return this because we don't care about any of that.
Hey, you're just taking the date and making a timer from it.
Yeah, so let's go do that. Let's go be smart. And we don't care about the refresh interval right now. I think all we care about is this. All right, so we'll do that. That gets us our observable.create. In our observable.create, we can stash that off. We'll create, we have to create underscore. And now Rider is smart enough to know that we want to make it a field. We'll make it a time span because it knows it needs to be a time span. We'll set that time span to go ahead, shame me. Say what you have to say.
No, I got nothing to shame you about.
I hear you. I hear you breathing like you want to tell me, "Oh, Rodney, don't do that. That's not smart." Oh, wait, no, this is correct.
I don't care.
That's fine.
You're missing a bracket there.
Yeah, there we go. Start immediately. It'll just start immediately. I'm not going to worry about the start immediately versus not start immediately on for this implementation.
Start time is at a time span or a date.
You, sir, are.
Oh, well, no. I think it's time span. I'm just asking the question.
Well,
Because it's the time that you're starting from, right? It's going to be
yes. So
datetime.now subtract, or the future date subtract now
it
to
becomes a
get
question of reusability
a time span.
and where we want to what we want this API surface to look like. So the straightforward answer is I don't know right now.
Well, because you want this timer to tick down, right? So it's going to be formatted hours, minutes, seconds, right? And so you want it to tick
Yes.
down from a time.
Oh,
So
actually, I don't
time
even need
span is
this.
the right time to do that.
All right. My point is like we could do the calculation for our users, but we don't. We might not want to do that. Right? Like I could technically just do the calculation. And now instead of subscribe, there we go. Okay.
So the users are setting the timer, or the server's setting the timer?
The server is going. Okay, so the server is going to be projecting the timer back to us in the form of a daytime offset. So my point is that we could take directly in that daytime offset and just do the calculation in here, or we could do that outside of this. I don't know what the right answer is, so I'm waiting until we get there to before I try to
Okay,
make too
all right.
much of a determination on what that looks like. Because if I focus on that, like we'll get something else wrong, and I'll be mad at myself later. So this scheduler will have to be set, so we'll set it. Okay. We may want to change that because we may not want to do that on the injection. We may want to do that here. I don't know yet. All right, like here's a timer, here's a thread. Go use it. How about this? App.mainThread scheduler. Or no, we actually want this to run on the task pool by default. Right, run in the background. Okay, and then we could explicitly do like an observe on main thread if we wanted to. Okay, so here's the basis of our timer service. Let's go ahead and we're just gonna new this up in our view model for the moment because we're bad developers. Underscore remaining time. That's the view, Rodney. David, aren't you supposed to be paying attention to what I'm doing?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure somebody's supposed to be paying attention to me today.
Well, yeah, I'm supposed to be. I never said I was.
Isn't that special? Remaining queue time is going to equal new thing. We're going to do it on the RX app background scheduler, and that's going to be timer, time span. Let's just do max value for. Really, I'm pretty sure I did max value just to watch it decrement. Oh, but that's a daytime offset, David. So now how do we get it back to the daytime offset? Mr. I'm smart.
Well, I thought the queue time came. Oh, the queue time is in the DTO.
Right. This could technically just be a daytime offset. Or, I mean, a time span.
Well,
But then we'd have
no.
to.
No. So you want to do you have the scheduler injected here or
When I
no?
said current, I was responding to. Oh, sorry. I'm not paying attention to the chat as well as I should be. Game Constructor was pointing something out to me that I did not see.
No, he was talking. He was talking about the scheduler. When I was talking about that.
Okay. You guys
See.
were going back and forth. Hey, livesharp.net. He did paste something in there.
Vaguely.
Like I'm interested to see.
Yeah, that's the Blazor thing. The Blazor hot reload thing.
Ah, yes. Ugh.
It also works with Xamarin Forms. That's right. I forgot about that.
Ah, that's nice.
They have a version that works with Blazor as well.
Yes, I want to say there was another one that did it as well before, but okay. All right.
All right. So you want to set the timer Um, so you want to set the service to its own thing.
Well, here I
And
can select it out, right? Like this is a thing.
no, but you want to reset the timer anytime the remaining queue time gets changed.
Yeah, okay, you're right. So let's handle that first. So we'll do it like this: when any value. Remaining queue time. So okay, so remember when I was talking the other day about how I want to do some like when property changing uh, extension methods? This
Mhm.
is actually a place where I would want to do that, right? Because like here, if I wanted to do like verify that the new time is greater than the old time, right? Like I'm not actually going to do it, but if I wanted to do that, I would have to use some buffering mechanism. And you and I both know that buffer can sometimes be fun. So I'd
Yep.
want to do like some type of like concat, or not even concat, merge these two, combine latest of when property changing and when property changed, and then let me evaluate those diffs. So that's actually why I want to do that. Okay, so anytime the remaining queue time changes, we want to subscribe to it. This is going to get weird, David. This is going to get weird. Because I don't think we want to, because like what we want to do with the
You probably
time.
don't want to subscribe to it. You want to expose an observable or a property that has that value. Yeah, you probably want to expose it to a property that has the current time value that needs to be rendered, right?
Well, it's already being done. Like it's already bound here.
No, but you want to show that in the timer in the UI.
Yes, yes. Yeah. So what you're talking about is like a two property, but that's not going to get me where I want to be just yet, because that's not going to do it just yet.
No. What I'm saying is you select many or no, select switch the remaining time service to create the timer based on the time
Wait,
span of
wait,
now and
whoa,
the new time.
whoa. Okay. You're gonna do a select on the remaining time service and then switch. Yeah.
And dot timer.
Dot timer, pass in x
So this will be
dot time
contrived to
span.
be x. No, it'll be x minus um, datetime offset dot now or scheduler dot now if you inject the scheduler. But
We'll get to
for
that.
simplicity at that moment,
Yeah, we'll get to that. Okay. Okay, and now
so
what you're saying is now that we do this, you want to do a dot switch so that we're always getting. Okay. So it's funny, right? Like you bring up switch, and switch is one of those operators where I always have to look it up because like it'll only show up when it's actually like the IntelliSense will only bring it up when it actually is a thing, but I never know when it's actually a thing. And then I always have to remember, oh wait, yeah,
it's based on an observable and observable.
it's when you have a multi-dimensional observable. Yes. So
Yep.
if we did select many, we wouldn't get the switch.
Yeah. So if you did select many, that's a merge, and what's going to happen is you're going to have two timers
Right.
now emitting, or well, you're going to have n timers now emitting on that one file, one stream. When in reality,
Yeah.
you're just wanting the latest timer
Yeah, we always want the latest timer.
to be
So we'll do the
emitting values.
switch, and then we'll do that to property. Yeah, but it's one of those operators like I always have to look it up. It's like, oh man, like am I using this correctly? I don't think I am. Remaining queue time, and then we'll do the out parameter underscore remaining queue time. That's all going to be. I think we want to.
You want a new property.
Yeah, we're gonna get there.
Okay.
Okay. I see what you're saying. You're telling me that I want. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, this is going to cause a cycle. That'll be
Well, no,
funny.
it's flat out not going to work because you can't do that. Like at compile time, it'll survive, but at runtime, it'll choke.
It'll probably not work.
So
Yeah.
here we're going to do a time span, and we're going to do instead of remaining queue time, we're going to do current queue time because that's going to be what's currently displayed on the screen. Yeah, that sound good.
Remaining. Oh, wait.
Yeah,
Yeah.
see what we did there. I mean, we can swap it later. You can bike shed with me later and tell me, Rodney, that's a horrible name, and you should never have done that. And I will agree with you. Observable as property helper for a time span. Boom. All right. Now we need to go change stuff to use the right stuff. That thing, and we'll do that thing, but now it should be current queue time. And I think I'm going to do a defer subscription true on this. I think. That could be wrong.
That's probably okay.
That's probably okay. Oh, this is pretty sweet, though. This is actually really sweet. Okay. So now we've got that, right?
And now do the XAML magic for...
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm about to do. So this is on the item, right? So we'll be in the item. And in the item view model, we'll go do some more binding magic. And we'll do this dot one way bind view model. The current time x dot. We're going to use regions, and we're going to rename that in a second. And we're going to do dot dispose with my view disposables, so that we're cleaning up behind ourselves. Possible null assignment. Yes, David, we're going to fix that. We're going to fix that in like the next week. I'm going to let you teach me your wizarding ways and stop being an ass about it.
Well, that's going to be... Yeah. There's going to be arguments on either side of that.
I'd rather have the arguments where this is not a problem than the arguments against it. And Glenn and I have talked about it, and we both see the problem. Neither one of us know that it can be solved well. Like, we talked about it. We don't think it can be solved
It can't.
Well. Right.
It can't.
Right.
Which is why my argument is to model for the common case as opposed to the uncommon case.
Yes, and I don't think I don't believe I disagree with you. It's a question of how do we model it that way and not create a breaking change. Again, it all comes down to breaking changes because, like, I'm good with it. This is the thing, right? Like, if I didn't have to respect semantic
tell anyone
versioning,
that's using null properties that, hey, we just broke this, and it doesn't actually break you. It's just, you could throw null, which you could have done before anyway.
I mean, you can throw null.
Well, I mean, the view model will say it's not nullable.
Oh, there we go.
And it'll throw a null ref if you use it and you haven't said it yet. That scenario hasn't functionally changed. But in terms of code ergonomics, since you've turned on nullable and said, yes, this is not nullable, they'll be like, but why is it null? And just be like, well, that's the edge case.
Okay.
And we're trying to solve for the common case.
It's the box view. I don't disagree, David. I don't disagree at all. I think you know that.
It's just going to be one of those gotchas where it's like, hey, well, I mean, it's already a gotcha, right? If you don't assign the view model's null.
Yeah. Okay, so that didn't work, David. You're fired.
Huh? What?
You're fired. You're horrible. You're horrible, David.
What are you talking about?
It didn't work. What you told me to do didn't work, so now we got to put breakpoints in and look at stuff. Oh, my light bulbs are flickering behind me. Oh no! I think it's time to. I think I have like electrical problems in my townhome because like I replaced these light bulbs. Well, I guess this is the room I spend the most amount of time in, and because of COVID, I've been in this room the majority of this year.
Yeah, right. 5 months.
Oh, it's been long. It's been longer than that. I've been stuck in this.
Well, because you've been remote forever.
No, not forever. Since the beginning of this year.
Since this year, yeah.
Okay, this is datetime offset.now. The X starting time.
I bet you the X starting time is before the.
I bet you it is.
And that's why.
Bet you
so
it
it's
is.
Just like, oh, timer's done.
Datetime offset.now. What is the?
No, do X.
Oh, I did X. No, I didn't do X. Yeah, I got X. X is right here.
Yeah, so X is. Oh no, X is in the future. No, wait.
That's what I'm trying to look at. What now is?
It's in the past.
Yeah, it's in the past.
Yeah, it's in the past.
So then, why aren't we getting our?
Well, we're because it's in the past, right? So the time span's a negative time span. And if you go back to the timer code bails out.
No, no. Daytime offset now is look at this. Now is set to 14.
Yeah.
Our X is set to 15. That's the day. Right, so that's
Yeah, but X is set to 15, 120 C.
yeah, I see that now.
So
Shiesty.
learn to time. If you add a watch for X minus daytime offset dot now, you're going to get a negative number.
Yeah, you're right. You are correct. Let's just do that just for crits and giggles. Refresh. Hit the thing. Oh, look, it's out of scope. Go figure. And now I'm debugging into RX. Can I calculate this now? I should be able to.
Mm-hmm.
Time span. Yeah, we get a negative number.
See? Negative minute and 44 seconds. See? I know things every once in a while.
Yes, this is why I'm here, because you know things that I seem to forget all the time, or can't piece together in moments. All right, so we set the refresh, the start time.
No, you need to change the start data.
Oh,
Right? You need to set the date time on the start data to be in the future because it needs to be in the future. Does it not?
talking about the remaining queue time.
No. Yeah, you need to set the remaining queue time.
I'm setting it from the DTO.
On the DTO coming in, you need to set it.
Yeah, shut up. Shut up and stop being smart.
I'm trying to help.
Yes, and this is
All I
the
do is
thank.
get-
This is
And
the
all I
thanks
do
you
is
get for
getting
it.
yelled at.
Oh man, if only. If only.
So your queue service, whatever the hell your queue service
Yeah, I'm trying to
returns.
find it. Like for whatever reason, I'm having a really rough time.
Control T. Sorry, Command
navigating,
T.
yeah, navigating files today. Okay. Yeah. All
Command
right.
T.
So remaining helps if you put commas, right? Remaining queue time. Let's do date time offset. Okay, so with this value would technically be in the future.
So, yeah, so just like plus an hour.
I just had to stop and think for a second to make sure that this one is supposed to be in the future. Okay. Time is hard, sir.
Time is hard. I agree. Surprised you're not using Nota time.
I actually plan on bringing it in, but we'll get there. I was gonna actually ask you about that this weekend to show me how to note a time. I was gonna use this to get you to show me how to note a time.
Nota time's easy. Well,
Yeah,
it's not easy.
Yeah. Everything's easy until you hit a wall. It's just like, oh, that was easy. All right, so now this should come in. Hold on, do we have the breakpoints? No, the breakpoints should be here. Yeah, okay. So the remaining queue time. Oh, I can even put a condition on this to say that it's got to be greater than 1. Okay, the remaining queue time. This is no longer giving me a negative value. So now when we go over here to the simulator, we still don't have output. What are you going to do now, Moses? All right, so let's look at that. The timer. I'm more upset that Ryder is telling me that it can't find it. It's literally telling me, hey, Rodney, you are no good. All right, so we've got the... David, one of these days I'm going to be smart.
That'll make one of us.
Huh?
So that'll make one of us.
Oh, man. Because, like, I'm looking at it, like, why won't it work? Why won't it work? And I'm like, oh, wait. The timer is running on the task pool scheduler. And I'm trying to push it onto the main thread. So maybe I should learn how to marshal? Watch, that still doesn't fix it, and then I'll have to like figure it out. Worst case, I can explicitly send the RX app to the to property, but at least we know that's working now. We don't need to look at this for the moment, so we can take those breakpoints off. Go look at the sim. Ha ha! Thread scheduling at its finest, sir. All right, so now each one of these has their own timer. Yeah? That's the first step.
Yep.
Now we need to be able to figure out how to simulate property changing, yeah? That should be easy enough. We can easily simulate the property changing. We can come over here. Or can we?
That is all on you, sir.
Oh, you're just going to be fun today, aren't you? Okay, so we can do like observable dot. Why do I have to do the hard stuff, David?
It's all on you, man.
It's not all on me. That's why I have you here, to make sure that I don't do stupid stuff. Like not be able to import references. Golly. Interval, we'll do time span from like 3 seconds. So every 3 seconds we'll update it, yeah? And then we'll do dot subscribe, and in our subscribe we will do underscore queue service dot. Will that update our data? I guess it will, right? If we know the GUID, but will we know the GUID is the question. I guess we have the queue, so we can just get the list out. But the get won't. Okay, so let's look at this from a real world application perspective, right? So like let's say I set up some type of like HTTP long polling or something like that, and I want to say go ahead and do the queue value. So like I would want to go and get that data from the server using this function, right? Or let's look at it from the SignalR perspective where it's just getting dumped on me. And this is updating. So we want to simulate that getting updated, which would be this function. So we could use this to potentially, or would we want to just call, I think we would want to call get value, right? We would just expect the source cache to update, really. Like that's really all we expect, right?
Will the source? You have to tell the source cache to update.
Right now I do, but like what would happen under the hood, right? Would be I'd have this source cache here, and I'd have some mechanism like some SignalR
You do auto
mechanism.
refresh.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I would have SignalR just pushing me this data. So I'm simulating that here by just saying every 3 seconds add something to the queue, but I don't actually want to add something to the queue. I want to change stuff. So for the purposes of this, we'll just do this, right? I'm hitting F12 and Ryder is smarter than me. Golly. Thank you, Ryder, for being annoying today. And it's funny, like as much as I promote Ryder, like Ryder messes up on me at the worst times, worst possible times. And it's usually when I'm like, update queue. We won't do any of that. We'll just say update queue. Then in our queue service where we're actually doing this, and we'll make this not suck later. Right. We'll do something in here. We'll say give me the underscore source cache dot items. Right, so that way I have access to all of the things. And I could technically just go through and just update the items, right? Like I could just for each through it and just, or I could do this. I could do like select. Can I update something in a select? I guess if it's mutable, I can do it, right? So if it's mutable, I should be able to just do like equals x dot remaining time dot add some random number. Add months.
Yeah, for demo purposes.
Yeah, I don't feel like going through all the random numbers, so we'll just do 2, right? We'll add 2 minutes every time.
Well, selection won't do anything. You have to do it for each.
Oh yeah, I have to do
Or
for
two
each.
array or whatever on it. But I think there should be a for each extension methods somewhere.
For all?
Never mind.
No, there isn't. Because that's items, right? So yeah, you're right. We would have to do this. We can't do it the way we want to do it.
You could just select into array. That would work. You just have to trigger full enumeration.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Select
I see what
from
you're saying.
for all.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yep.
To array, because I read somewhere this week that to array is more performant than to list. Oh, I'd have to do an observable.create here. Ugh, okay, here we go. Let's do that real quick. Or we could just not care and just do an observable dot return unit dot default. Oh, see, this is why Rich yells at me every single time, right? Because here I am, I have unit in system.reactive.unit, system.language extensions.unit. Everybody's got a unit. And we'll change that to be of type.
Gotta love those units.
We just need one unit, right? And again, to talk bad about David Fowler, he said that this should come from the community. So like the community is trying its best to move it forward, but it's not that easy.
The community can only do so much.
That's kind of how I felt about it, and that's kind of what I wanted Fowler to understand. But it seems like I guess we just need to do it. And to that point, Jimmy Bogart's on board. Paul, I'm gonna butcher his last name, who does language extensions, is on board. So we just got to get the system.reactive folks to be on board and to push a package, and life will be good. So here we'll do dot update.
That one's gonna be tough.
I don't feel like
That's
it should
a
be.
major change for React system reactive.
I'm not saying that it's no different than me abstracting out reactive object as a package. Jackass. How's it any different? Tell me how that's different.
Oh, just the number of consumers and how they've generally been no breaking changes across major versions with like binary redirects and assembly redirects and shit.
I feel like this is a breaking change that we need to accept.
No, it's a bit. Yeah, I agree that it's something that needs to be accepted. I'm just saying that it's going to be a big one. That's all.
I don't disagree, and I'm not exactly excited for it, but again, it's like it's the right thing to do, so we should just do it. Because like we need to like we wouldn't be having this same conversation if it was Task, right? Because Task is a first class citizen in the .NET framework, but Unit isn't, and they're literally the exact same use case.
Exactly. No, I understand. I'm just going.
But because I'm one of those functional nuts, I don't I get yelled at and put on the back burner. So let's watch this actually do the thing. Okay, it's gonna hit the update. It's gonna go do the update. I hit F10, so it's probably gonna pull up some. It's gonna decompile some code and laugh at me here in a minute. Yep, yeah, decompiled system.reactive. Yay. Is that working? Every 3 seconds we should see the minutes update. I don't see the minutes updating. Do you?
No.
Go to implementations. Let's click the thing. Okay, so let's just go do a for each because you're probably right and I'm probably wrong. That way we can see the value change. Let's do items. Queue store DTO. So here we're gonna do queued store DTO dot remaining queue time equals the current remaining queue time add minutes. Let's add 10 minutes now just to be safer. And then we'll get rid of all that stuff and see what happens. I have a feeling that we're not going to get very much further. Well, actually, I mean, we're already kind of there, right? Like, I'm already kind of where I want to be. So from there, it would be just, stubbing out how the SignalR piece would work, which we could do. I'm actually interested in your thoughts on that because I'm going to go through kind of the
SignalR service.
Womp. I mean, it's all going to sit behind this IQ service because this IQ service, because I want it to. I'm only injecting a single abstraction into my view model. That's all I'm allowed for data. And when I say that's all I'm allowed, I mean that's all I'm allowing myself. Okay. So the remaining queue time is 10. Right?
You sound like a train wreck. Hold on.
I sound like a train wreck?
Yeah, it's not your fault, though.
Okay, so it is adding the time. Oh, yeah, stop the breakpoint. So it's adding the time for sure, but we're not seeing that update on the screen.
Okay, so then our other thing needs to go. Should put a breakpoint in the class. The view model.
The item view model. Yeah, I'm getting there. I'm following you.
And put a breakpoint 25, I guess, somewhere around there.
Well, you called it.
Right, so is 24 getting called? Is it ever calling when any value?
No, it doesn't seem like it's ever calling the when any value.
So is the property changing? You go to the setter and the property.
Raise and set have changed. You're an idiot. I know why.
Huh?
I'm talking to myself. I'm an idiot. I know why.
Oh,
it's not you.
Didn't do anything.
It's not you. It's me, David. Can I just do auto refresh without that? I guess I technically can't. So what's happening is I'm updating the DTO, right, in the queue service, but I'm not getting the change notification out because it's not happening in the view model item.
Oh yeah. Okay.
But I can't auto.
You auto refresh after the transform?
Yeah, I can. I actually have a question on auto refresh for you. I see that it takes an observable. Like, do you know how that part of the API works?
It takes an observable or a delegate?
Is it an observable or a delegate? I don't know. Let's go decompile it. F12 decompile. So this is dynamic data. There's one that takes a function, a functor, right, which is what you're talking about, the delegate. No, and then there's one that takes a function
version of it
over an observable, which is different than what I would expect it to be the inverse, right? An observable of a function of object of any, but it takes in a function of observable. So I'm assuming that's just an observable property, like the property itself is an observable.
So that allows you to create an observable based on the object in some way, and you return observable of t_any just to signify, I believe, notifications that it has changed.
Okay.
Right. So when you're doing auto refresh on this particular expression,
that's why it was giving me auto refresh on observable, right? Because I can do this. I can do like this and then do like a dot when any value. Is that what you're talking about?
No, because you already have it down there with auto refresh on line 28.
I'm just trying to understand the API at this point. So like it would be something like this where I could just do this and then do like x dot, just so I understand the API, right? Like
yes, you could do something like that. You could do like a when any value on your object.
Okay, so it's truly auto refresh on an observable. And this is just auto
Yeah.
refresh on a property. Okay. Well, this would actually get me closer to the metal though, wouldn't it? But DTO store doesn't notify property change, so that might get weird.
It's Friday. No, I ever do that.
Oh, my bad.
So confused. I was like, did I sleep the whole day?
Oh, my wife's funny.
Your wife
I
is
met
funny.
her. I know she is funny. She's hilarious.
She is.
Huh?
We're calling
dear.
you funny.
She can't hear you. You're headphones. So
Well, hey, David. It's hitting the thing.
did it work?
I don't know. I'm not looking at the emulator.
Oh, it hit the breakpoint.
It's hitting breakpoints now, though. That's a step in the right direction, yeah?
Did it do it? No.
No, it's still not doing the thing. Okay, I know why it's doing it. Now I have to figure out like how to make it not be bad. Because we're changing the data under the hood, right? That's the problem.
Oh, wait. You want to win any value not in the remaining queue time, but the other thing.
No. That's what we're setting. We're setting the remaining queue time here from what's coming in.
Yes, but on the win any value, you want to go off of the other one, don't you?
The DTO?
No, the notify property changed. The object thingy. Property as helper.
No. Oh, no. You don't want to do that.
Are you sure?
Yes. So, yes, that's inverting what we're talking about, right? It's like, yeah.
No, go back to where we bound to the auto refresh.
Yeah, no, I'm doing it here. This is the value that's getting changed. In my service, right? So that's that's not where the thing is. This is the value that's getting changed in my update, which is on here. Here we go. So my update, that's the value that's getting changed as the remaining queue time. Right, but notice this is the DTO, not the view model. So now I need to figure out how to get like when.
Oh,
you see?
Yeah, you need to go push that down. Okay. Yeah.
So then the question becomes: is this
just programming, honey? It's part of the problem we're trying to solve.
What problem?
I'm on a stream, so that problem. Going places securely.
What? All right, so we can't auto refresh on that.
Streaming. And it's not just happening live.
Sophie says hi.
Hi, Sophie.
Oh, my kids.
Yes, your kids. All right, so yeah, like we're doing this wrong. That's what's happening. The question is, how the heck do we do it right?
It's not we're doing this wrong. You're doing this wrong. I'm along for the ride.
Yikes, this guy. So we could do an auto refresh on observable. Like, why doesn't the auto refresh on property work though here? Why didn't that work? We're doing a published rev count on the store. We're doing an auto refresh. What does it tell me? Oh, it has to implement iNotify property change. That's what I thought. How do I do this so that I don't suck? Because like I just want to update the data. The updated data should fall through though, right? Like when the data is updated. Oh, dumbass. You know what it is? I just realized what it is.
I'm not sure. What is it? Oh,
Source cache dot items. There we go, David. Now the thing should do something, right? Because like now we're actually going to add it back to the queue to let the queue know that it needs to do something. So that means technically we can do our auto refresh down here, and that should work, right?
yep.
We hope. We hope to not look foolish.
We do indeed hope.
I was having a conversation with somebody earlier today, and I told them, I was like, 10 years ago, I didn't want anybody to look at my code. I didn't want anybody to review my code. I didn't want to write unit tests. I didn't want to do anything. And like now, like the things that I didn't like 10 years ago are like the things that I do religiously. Go figure. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Haha! Doing stuff. Let's take the breakpoint off. Because now we are doing... Ooh, yeah! You see that, David? That reping is horrible, but it's doing something.
Except they're all now Academy.
Well, that's because you broke it.
I didn't do shit.
Yeah, but it is at least adding values now, right? Yeah, so let's actually change.
Yes.
All right, so what do we break this time? We're doing editor update on the... All right. We're going to do var. Oh, yeah, var equals. Not going to work. Var DTO time equals that, right? So now we've got time, which equals the thing. And here we'll do source cache dot add or update. No, that would still have to be the DTO, wouldn't it? Oh, but technically we can just do this. Right, like I'm adding the minutes. And then I can just do this. I can just add it back to the queue. Right? That seems less. It returns a value. Return a value of pure method is not. So now I wonder, will it just add it to what it currently has, or is it like gonna just return it?
I don't know. Interesting.
Yeah, of course. I have hit a wall. Uh-oh. It looks like it's searching to decompile further. We might be able to dig in and find out what add minutes actually... Try make item in... That's Microsoft Azure Web Chat. You know what? I'm done with you. Ryder's drunk tonight. We'll see if that works, right? Like, that should work. We'll just put a breakpoint and we'll see if it works. But I'm actually at least excited about this. So now the question is, David, all right, so now the $64,000 question is, if I wanted to run all that from the view model, right, and I didn't want to do it in the particular item, could I do it? I think the answer to that is yes, based on the fact that I have dynamic data available. I think I can, right? Like I can...
I would say yes.
Well, the fact that you say yes tells me that I might be onto something. All right, so the store DTO... Let's just take the breakpoint off now that we know the breakpoint is actually getting hit. It's going to do the thing. But they're all Academy again. Oh, because we... David, you're supposed to be paying attention to me.
Nope.
It's like, nope, not my job.
Not my problem.
It'll be your problem when I can't figure it out. Or I guess it'll still be my problem. You'll just be helping. Boo. Boo.
My kid's dropping something on the ground. It's hilarious.
I don't hear it.
That was a few seconds ago.
Dude, it still does it.
Like,
It's still doing it. I don't understand that now. Yeah, because the name is still correct. This is where you can't help me, and I have to be smart because I'm supposed to know Xamarin. Why is that doing that? Game Constructor, you got an idea? You still paying attention over there? Wanna throw me a bone? See what I'm missing? Yeah, that doesn't matter. We're getting the source cache as an observable cache. We're doing adder update. We're adder updating the specific DTO. So it's really awkward as to why. Because like the DTO should be there, the item coming out of the cache. Like we're not explicitly newing up a new GUID, so the GUID isn't changing. It shouldn't be rebinding. What does our view model do? It just doesn't auto refresh on the remaining time. I call shenanigans because like what it's doing is it looks like it's now binding everything to the same model, to the same view model, and that shouldn't be the case. And there's nothing in here that would give me any indication why that would happen. Okay. Nothing there. There's nothing special on the XAML. I'm not even like showing that button. We're cute. Okay, we're doing it here. I don't have any specific name there. I don't have anything hidden here. Is my logic really that flawed, David?
I don't think so. It didn't look like it when we looked at it.
We're going to grab the source cache, right? And we're saying, give me all the items out of the source cache. And one by one, I'm going to add 10 minutes to whatever you give me, right? I'm going to take the remaining time. I'm going to add 10 minutes to that. And then I'm going to add myself back to the cache, calling adder update. I mean, no problem, Game Constructor. Like none of this seems like this should work. Why wouldn't this work? Right? Because we got Academy. Because now it seems like it's binding consistently to everything to Academy. So that means somehow my list is... It's an IEnumerable, so that should be fine. Should we do like .to list? Maybe the change notifications are coming in too fast? And we're recalling the update method too fast? Maybe that's it? Doesn't seem likely, but...
I don't know. I genuinely don't know.
I genuinely don't know. I've not seen this before because like I've done similar stuff where I pull stuff out of caches, update it, and it goes back and everything's happy. So I'm pretty sure I broke it. Yep, the second I update, it repaints the entire list and only brings in Academy. All right, let's do this. To prove to Rodney he's not crazy, Rodney's going to come over here and he's going to do GUID. Or wait, it's going to be ID, right? We're going to do ID equals GUID dot new GUID. Oh, it's not that, it's that. And then we're gonna do right, so it only gets set once. I mean, but I mean technically that's the same thing we're already doing, right? So like I'm not really gaining anything by doing this. Because like maybe there's some nonsense where the constructor is recreating the GUID because I've got the DTO under the hood, but like I'm not. This seems incredibly silly to me, David. This seems incredibly silly to me. As in, I should know how to do this properly. Let's set it to 10 seconds just in the event that it's actually a time issue, but I don't feel like it is. I actually did just try the reassigning the value. It's not that the value isn't showing up. It's that what's happening is every time it updates, it's changing my initial binding of having everything, having Home Depot, Kroger, and Academy, and then when it updates, it just sets everything to Academy. And now Academy is the only thing. And I don't know if that's a collection view issue. I guess I could check that. Yeah, I could just go do that real quick and see, oh, is it collection view? And then I can go put a nice big bug on Xamarin's, because that's exactly what Xamarin needs from me right now, is another bug telling them that their stuff doesn't work the way I expect it to. Let's change this to a list view.
I just found a bug in my code and I got to run another release, and I'm mad.
It's just a version number, David. It's not that big a deal.
It's also a beta version, so it's fine.
Right.
But
stop crying.
it's just like, why isn't my code working? What did I do to break it? And I see.
Like,
oh no.
I broke it. All right, so
Oh,
now
no.
that's in a view cell, so that should be taken care of. So we're actually going to run this.
So now I should probably add unit tests.
You didn't have unit tests there before? Shame on you, David.
Maybe?
Shame.
Maybe I don't know.
Shame, David. Shame.
I don't know. Maybe. Maybe not.
So I'm actually not going to harp, like if I can't get this fixed now, I'm not going to harp on it. I do want to get to the whole how we change the control structure so that the time service acts on the individual items. That actually might also inadvertently fix, oh, Jesus, really? Well, that just happened. Okay, so it's repainting, but at least it's keeping the correct. You see that? It's repainting, and it's doing the auto refresh.
But it doesn't look anything like it used to.
No, it doesn't, because this is a list view, and I got to go change some stuff to get it to work.
Okay.
But now notice it's not changing everything to Academy.
Yes, it does. It's not screwing it up that way.
I want to say that this might have something to do specifically with the collection view, the recycle options. Okay, so now that makes sense to me, is that this might have something to do with collection view recycling options. So now I got to go to Google because I don't use collection view that often. So let's do Xamarin Forms, collection view. How do I figure out the cell? I'm at the docs. It's not a flow direction. It's not going to be the height. It's not going to be the input transparent. Not group focus is native. Is platform enabled. Visible item sizing strategy. Okay, that's not what we want, but it is some type of strategy. At least it was on list view. It was a strategy. So maybe we want to know it's not going to be items remaining. It's not going to be the resources. It's not going to be the scale. Selection mode. What are we looking for? Vertical scroll bar triggers. Maybe we just need to change the selection mode. Let me go pull up some other code that I have where I'm explicitly using collection view and see what is Rodney doing wrong? How do we do the thing? And if I remember correctly, like if I'm being honest, I feel like I've run into this issue with collection view before, and I'm not sure that I know actually how to fix it. Yeah, cause see, like, yeah, let's set the selection mode. What's the default selection mode actually? You know, let's just decompile collection view. I feel like we do this every week. We work with collection view. Yeah. 3 layers deep. Let's keep going. Come on, you can do the thing. Selectable items view. All right, so the selection mode default is none. That's fine. Select item. Selection changed. We don't actually care about any of that. Selection mode. There's got to be something about like recycling. I feel like I know a lot of that stuff is built into the collection view, but I can honestly say, and the documentation isn't there for me to just go look. Selectable, blah 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 stuff, blah blah stuff. Okay, maybe I can go a little bit deeper and find something. Header, footer, item sizing property, item sizing strategy property. Okay, we'll just go look at that and see what that. Measure all items, first item. Okay, that's got to be akin to has uneven rows. And measure all is the default anyway, so it'll do that by default. So I don't think I care about that. I don't know why collection view is acting this way, and I think I'm going to have to debug into Xamarin Forms in order to figure that out, and I don't want to do that right now. Do you want to dig into Xamarin Forms, David? No, you don't.
Nope, not right now.
And I find it odd that, like, even if it was like me setting the selection mode to single, like the fact that that's a problem is silly to me. Yep. Okay, so I think I'm gonna stop there because like this isn't gonna work the way I want it to. I am gonna ask you how you think we can get this to invert so that the view model itself is doing it. So what methodology are you thinking that we can use there to do that?
Well, for SignalR.
Yeah.
Well,
I guess
so. My initial
I guess
thought
yeah.
would be.
Go ahead. I'm listening.
My initial thought would be SignalR service.
Right, we have a SignalR service, but I guess what I'm pointing out there is like that SignalR service would be no different than this cache, right? So this cache is going to get updated, right? So how?
So you'd feed the service into the cache, and then the UI would update.
You mean feed this?
Or so you feed SignalR into the queue service,
right,
and have it update there, and then everything else flows from there.
Right, but then we still have to inject or new up a remaining time service in each one of our individual view models. So can we bring that out to the controlling view model with minimal effort? You could. Okay,
Do you
yeah, yeah.
need to? Because it's getting reset. It'll get reset if the time gets updated.
Yeah,
So do you need
each
to?
individual one would have to have its own instantiation of one.
I think so. Yeah.
I don't. It doesn't maintain any state, David. It maintains zero state, so it doesn't care. You give me a thing, and I'll give you a thing back.
That's
Right?
fair.
Oh, that was a question, not a.
Yeah. No, that's right.
Okay. So because this doesn't maintain any state, I can technically I can actually do all of this, okay, against the dynamic data list. Don't do it. Don't you dare. Here. I think I see what we're talking about, right? So now, instead of doing the win any value on the remaining queue time, what we'll do is dot win any property. Oh, no, 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 no. Is that what we're going to do? We're going to do all of that when any property changes? I guess it is. Oh, no, we can't do that, David. We can't do that. We would have to do this in the individual item, the way it's currently coded. Because of the way we're doing the two property out on the queue time.
Yeah.
Let's still see if we can figure that out, right? Okay, let's just try. So dot when property changed. Why did everything go red all of a sudden? Why are you smarter than me, Ryder? Oh, you're just red because all this is here. That, in fact, is not why you are red. Okay. How about this? How about this, David? I can't call it underscore Q because I'm already using that. What are we going to call this thing? View models. Okay, so introduce variable. We'll call it item view models, right? So that'll give me access to that. And then here I can do item view models when property changed. And then I can also do item view models dot auto refresh. Yeah, now everybody's happy, right? Observable, all the things. So now I can do when property changed, and I can do something like subscribe x dot sender is going to be the item view model. And here I can set the no, I don't want to do that. This is going to have to be here. So I think here is where I want to do all of this stuff around the remaining time, right? And I basically want to set Can I do that? I don't even know if I can do what I'm trying to do.
I don't even know what you're trying to do.
What I'm trying to do is bring the code from 25 through 29 down into the when property changed on the dynamic data cache. So when the property changes on the dynamic data cache, basically do all this stuff that we were already doing. So here, I guess that would be like a dot. No, because we have the property value, so we don't want to get rid of that, right? Like we want the property value. We get the property value, and then we can just say would we do that? Would we do like x dot sender dot when any value. Remaining queue time. Dot to property. I don't think this is going to work. I don't think this is going to work, David. Because we wouldn't want it to just be the name of that. We would want it would then have to have fidelity into the view model itself. I think this is going to... All right, so when this falls over, I'm going to elect to stop streaming and go get food. Because I am losing it. Yeah, we can't do that, so we would have to do... Right, because we don't actually have access to that property. And the source won't be this. The property source would be x.sender. Oh, this is going to be janky. There be dragons.
There's always dragons.
There be dragons. Yeah, it's not going to work because I have to give it something for the observable to property to bind to. So that won't work. So how were you thinking that I would be able to do this, David, just out of curiosity? Are you thinking that something like this should work? I can take the to property off and just set the value. I mean, that's a thing I can do.
No, I mean, I would leave it in the view model itself.
You talking about in the item view model?
Yeah.
It feels dirty though, David. Like for a lot of reasons.
Well, I mean, the service doesn't have to be a class. It could be a function. Right? It's a class for no other reason than because.
Because we're trying to reuse it. Well, right, but I mean, like that's what I'm saying. Like fast forward like a month from now or whenever, when I finally get
No, so it could still be an extension method, though.
What, the timer?
Yeah. Go to the remaining timer service.
You are so confusing to me. What? What am I doing?
You could convert that entire method into an extension method that takes time span and an optional scheduler. And still share it and still interop, but then it's no longer a class and you're no longer doing it up, which is the dirty part that you don't like.
Oh, fine, David. I'll do what you say to do because...
When, I mean, every observable that you create creates a new class anyway.
Any...
You just don't see it.
What do you mean any observable creates a new class anyway? You mean it creates a new timer?
No, it doesn't create a new timer, but it creates a new class. Like, all the observable stuff is implemented as classes. You just don't see it, right? Like, you call select, it creates a new select thingamajig.
Oh, yeah, no, I
I
get that. That wasn't what I was balking on. When you said, I'm thinking something else. Okay. So we'll call this timer extensions. Oh, Rich would be so proud. Rodney, you're using actual functional concepts. And then you're saying I can take all this. Do the thing on this public static. Then the refresh interval would have to be statically set. That's fine. Public static read only. Refresh interval, right? Okay, so the refresh interval is there, and then what you're saying is we can just take the nullable timer and create this as scheduler question mark rx app dot task pool. That's what you're telling me? And you're
what I'm
recommending
telling
this is
you.
how I do it. Okay, so what does that give me? That gives me the ability to say here, when I have x dot sender, so I can do x dot sender dot remaining. Oh, we'd have to do it on date time offset. Now, sir, now I want to kick you.
What? Oh, I never said it would solve the problem the way you want to solve it. It just makes it cleaner in the view model so you don't notice it.
Oh, but it doesn't actually solve my problem, does it? Oh, it kind of does, but that's still gonna be ugly as crap, yeah. Because what you're basically saying is, let's do it with let's be cheaters, yeah. We'll actually call the thing, and now what we're saying is we need to do.
Now, I'm just saying leave it in the queued item view model.
Oh, you're saying don't even bother with any of this and just put it in the okay.
You still need that one line, don't you?
I need a lot of these lines. I can get rid of a lot of that though. Item view models. I don't actually care about that disposable anymore, so I can get rid of that. And now what you're saying is in my item view model, I can go back to doing the same thing that I was doing.
When any value remaining queue, and then just call your extension method. What's the timer extension off of? Observable of date time offset?
Yep. Remember when I was like, oh, maybe we should take in daytime offset? And you're like, no, you should never do that.
No, it's
Just giving you shit, David. I don't care. That timer, because we can just do it this way, yeah? That's like not the end of the world.
no. You can take this. You can go up one level. I think.
How are you proposing that?
What's ReSharper telling you?
ReSharper is just telling me to do it as a method invocation on that.
Go to your timer method. I'm so lost.
Why are you lost, David? We're right here.
Go to your timer method.
Here. Oh, wait, that's not it. Remaining time service. Timer. Here.
Oh, so I was thinking instead of this time span, you would do this as an IObservable of a daytime offset.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. I see what you're saying. You're telling me to go do. Oh, I see what you're telling me to go do. Ugh. Ugh. I actually don't hate it, but ugh. You're telling me that the timer should go here, and then I can get rid of. Hey. I can get rid of that select, is what you're telling me.
Yep.
And potentially the switch. Maybe. Let's see.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, let's see. So you're saying that this should be now on a. What do we just make that? An IObservable. Okay, so. T source, right? This IObservable of date time offset.
Well, daytime offset's your source, so I don't think you need T source on there.
Sorry. Yeah, because we don't want this to be anything. We explicitly want this to be daytime offset. All right, so scheduled.
And then what's going to happen is you're going to get the select and the switch are going to go in here.
Yep. I'm following. I'm just my brain is catching up. Brain is playing catch up. Okay, so I'm in the item view model, and you're telling me that now instead of please tell me I did not. I did not. All right, so that's what we want. We basically want to do that select there.
And so we can actually do one better for unit testability.
He says. Hold on. Let's just get this working first.
Ugh.
So here is where we would do the select, right? Before we do the scan, right? Yeah.
No,
No.
you would do start time dot select this whole observable.
Start time. Oh.
So go to the beginning of that line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Start time dot select. No.
Oh yeah. Hold on. Start time dot select. So do date time and do an arrow.
Yeah, we're getting there. Hold on. Did you see that? Did you see how smart Ryder is?
Good job.
So much smarter than I am. Right, but then we can't do interval.
Hold on. Yes, you sure can. Because you deleted the observable, so you do observable dot interval.
Do I have to merge these two?
Hold on.
Oh, dude, you're killing me.
Just
I'm following. I'm gonna shut up. I'm gonna shut up, and I'm gonna do what you tell me.
No. Don't close the select. Don't close the select.
The select's already closed.
Well, don't close it. Take out everything. Take the X minus daytime offset now out. Just take that out.
Take it out, which is exactly what you told me to put in. But okay, taking it out.
I did.
It's out.
You did. Take out that bracket.
Observable.
Observable.
Ooh, golly gee willikers. Observable.
Yep. Dot interval. And then the refresh interval will be your X, which you already have. Or no, so refresh interval will stay there. Never mind, you're right. But start time will be your X. Subtract. So do X.
Here.
Yep.
X.
And then subtract. And then in braces. Scheduler. No. Scheduler. Or not, sorry, scheduler, question, the RX scheduler.
Oh, yeah, no, if we're going to have to reuse the scheduler, we're going to go back and do this properly.
Yeah, probably.
No.
How did you get it to do that?
How did I get what to do what?
The, add the return and the braces. What was the
So I got
command
the
you did
fat
there?
arrow here, yeah? So I go to the beginning,
Yep.
I go to the beginning of the statement, and I literally just put it in, and Ryder does the magic.
Just hit enter and it does it?
Dude,
Okay.
literally, I don't even hit enter. So watch, I'm typing one character. Shift, bracket.
Oh, okay. Cool. And so scheduler, question mark equals scheduler, or the RX app scheduler. Simplify. There you go.
Oh, that's going to hurt my brain.
And then you want to subtract scheduler.now. And that way it's unit testable. And now you want to return after the take until,
The switch.
or after the select, you do the switch. So you have to actually do one brace because we deleted that earlier.
Did we?
We did.
Wow, do you see me? So I'm gonna be honest with you. That's coming out. That's no longer nullable. Screw that. Okay, now my API surface doesn't look so crappy. Oh, skip, that's why it's yelling at me. Add XML comment. The thread scheduler to execute.
So, are you gonna deal with stop and resume here?
No, I'm not going to bother with that here. I think I'm going to leave that for my actual scheduler implementations.
I was just asking the question.
Oh no. Yeah, I'm just telling you. I'm just letting you know.
Oh no. Sorry, not stop and resume on the timer. I'm talking about the application, right, being shut down on the phone and then being started back up.
No, I'm not going to deal with that. But to answer your question, how I would deal with that in an RxUI app, I would have like app state. So I'd have some level of app state where I could just serialize the app state down and then rehydrate that app state. That makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. I was just asking the question.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I'm not going to do that for the demo because that's that's honestly a very complex scenario for any mobile application. And I don't want somebody to be, go copy paste my solution in this, demo app and then go
Yeah,
use it
right.
and be like, oh, Rodney, your code sucks. And I'm like, well, yeah, it's a demo app. I just kind of threw some together to show that
Fair
you
enough.
could do
I
it.
was just asking the question.
Oh, no, that's a valid and fair question to ask. Why are you now giving me more yellow? Rename to, oh, because I'm inside a static context, so the naming convention is different. Okay. Rename parameter to what? Time span, sure. Okay, so based on this, everything should just function. Oh, we have to provide it a scheduler, so we'll go ahead and say rxapp.taskpool scheduler. We no longer need the switch. We just need to observe on the main thread and pipe out the property. I don't hate it. Now, this doesn't get us any closer to actually testing or unit testing the test scheduler, but that's fine. This does at least show us how we can do something like this in RX.
You probably want to rename the name from timer because that conflicts with a bunch of RX stuff. But
That's a great point. I forget. Oh no, because you can only get to timer from observable.
oh, from daytime offset. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Never mind.
Well, even that, like, you can't just do timer on like a regular observable. Like, I couldn't just do timer here,
Yeah.
can I?
No,
Yeah, I
no,
can't.
no,
Yeah, I
but
can't.
there's observable dot timer.
Right. I mean, it has to come from observable, from the static. You can't just do it just cause.
That's fair.
So, so yes, you're right. Being good stewards, we should probably name this like
Time until end or something like that. Or yeah, remaining time or
is that right? That's that contextually correct. That we're going to.
probably close enough. Someone glancing at the code would be like, "Oh, yeah, okay."
Yeah, but somebody glancing at the code would be like, how in the heck is he getting timer on that? You can't do that. Yeah, because that's the first thing I would say. What kind of idiot wrote this? How could you possibly do this? And then I go look at the commit history. I'm like, oh wait, I'm the idiot that wrote it. Oops. How did I write that? How did that ever work? Okay, so it's like late for it's later for you than it is for me. It's 9:30. I'm satisfied with this for tonight. I think we'll come back and play with some stuff like this. I think next week, I think Game Constructor is gonna join me, and I forget exactly what we're gonna look at, but he told me the other day what we're gonna look at, and so I think we're gonna look at some stuff next week. I'm gonna look through my slacks and talk about stuffs. Oh, we're gonna talk about analyzers. Oh man.
Oh no. No analyzers.
Oh
No.
yes, analyzers. Analyzers are happening,
Oh.
David. Yes.
You had to get food. I have to get food.
Oh, we're not talking about this right now. I'm talking about later.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm talking about
All
next
right, cool.
week. Game Constructor and I are gonna work on analyzers, so you can come join us if you want. I don't know how to do like a 3-way OBS, but we can figure that out too. Or he's gonna be there, and you can just sit in and listen and laugh at me.
Fair enough.
But yeah, no, this was extremely helpful, David. Thank you for showing me stuff that I already know and helping me not be stupid, and not be stuck in my ways, right? Because like, the solid person in me would be like, oh, we need to create a class and we need to inject this service and blah blah blah, and then like the functional aspect of me is like, wait, you can just create a method invocation and be done, which is essentially what we ended up doing, right? We ended up taking a much more functional approach by creating an actual function.
Yep. Functional things.
So yeah, to David's point, we could technically unit test this. We could give a date time offset, and we can provide a test scheduler to this thing and test the thing and verify that it does what it's supposed to do. To that point, if we did not pass in the scheduler and we ran the interval on any scheduler, we would not be able to unit test it using the test scheduler. That's a very important thing that I want to point out, because I ran into that issue the first time I went to go test. I was like, oh, I'm going to go test this
Yeah,
thing.
if you don't apply the scheduler, it gets really upset with you.
Well, you don't have a scheduler to fast forward and move around, right? So like, it's just like,
Yep.
oh, because the thing that you think that you would be able to do, right, is do something like a subscribe on, not subscribe, but subscribe on whatever that scheduler is, and it'll work. Unfortunately, particularly for the interval operator, like I believe the timer operator, that's not the case. You have to actually explicitly give the operator the scheduler that you want it to execute.
There's a few of them. Interval, return can even do it.
Yeah, that would make
Timer.
sense. That would make sense.
And then there's even some intermediary ones like timeout,
Yeah, timeout's one.
right?
Yeah, timeout's one.
I just did this. I was like, oh, why isn't it working? And then I go search through and I'm looking for overloads of schedulers. I'm like, oh,
Oh,
all right.
because I didn't give it a scheduler, so it doesn't know what it's doing. Okay.
Yeah, that's the one thing that RX needs to do better.
What?
Just how the schedulers are like passed around with things. I mean, I understand how it is and the way it's designed right now. It's really not changeable, but that's one of the ergonomic things that's kind of annoying if you're not careful and religious with it, especially because they have all the nice helper overloads that don't include a scheduler.
Right.
I kind of want to see if I can make like a rosin analyzer that's kind of like the JetBrains one, the Rider one, that indicates you missed a cancellation token here, and do the same thing for you missed a scheduler here.
That's not bad. So okay, so let's table that, because that's actually exactly what we're trying to build, right? I want to be able to build. That's what Game Constructor and I are going to be talking about next week. Like you were talking about, oh, Rodney, make that one that you went and did with Matthias, the Roslyn one, and until I can get him to help me, and he's been busy, so until I can get him to help me show me how to set up the unit test, I don't really want to take it any further, because everything I do is just going to break it, right? So because we can unit test the Roslyn one, Game Constructor's been working on some other ones, and we're just like, let's pool our resources and put together a place where we can start adding a consistent set of analyzers specifically for functional programming in the .NET space, right?
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Especially around RX.
Well, yeah, because
but I like an analyzer that's like, oh, there's a scheduler overload. Use that. And then I want another one that's not necessarily that same package, but another one that's you missed a cancellation token.
I think cancellation token would be different because it's not RX specific. But like we're talking about stuff like
Correct.
creating closures in in stuff like we want to make sure that we get those things straight away. We don't want to play around with that.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Well, David, thank you for your time. Thanks for joining me tonight. I appreciate you so much. Hopefully, everybody got a chance to learn something, even if it's that Rodney still is not a good programmer. Um, and I guess we will see you next Friday, if not sooner. I don't know if David and I are going to be streaming before Friday again. I think we did a stream yesterday that I screwed up and didn't didn't save. But I think we're probably going to also be doing some streaming on Rocket Surgeons Guild coming up soon. So we'll be trying to do some
Sweet.
weekly to streaming there, even if it's just me and David sitting down doing kind of what we did tonight. Taking a problem and solving a problem. So you can kind of one thing I got feedback from some colleagues earlier this week was it's benefit like they actually found benefit in watching the process of solving the problem with RX. So maybe everything won't be RX related for Rocket Surgeon, but there's value in watching two developers go through the motions of solving problems because a lot of people think that developers are code jockeys, and if you think that my value add to a project is being a code jockey, then you don't understand development. You're really asking me to come solve your problems for you, right? So you want somebody that has good problem solving skills. Yeah, the schedule analyzer idea is a good one. So you want people with good problem solving skills, so that they can solve the problem. So like getting a chance to watch people solve problems helps you understand how to solve problems better. As a matter of fact, that's actually how David and I became friends. Was he and I used to work together, and he would solve problems in the most interesting of ways, and I would always try to understand how do you come to that conclusion? Like how does your brain figure that out? And over some years, some of it's kind of rubbed off on me, but I'm still trying to get more. Anyway, folks.
Oh, I can't type in .any into.
Yeah, that's the funniest thing. You might,
There we
yeah,
go.
there you go.
.any.
Yeah, .any. That is
Okay.
the link operator that changed my life, and sent me on this wild path towards where I am now. Like had C# never added link and .any wasn't a thing, I wouldn't be sitting in this chair talking to you right now. There it is.
Yeah. Right.
Like it's all because of .any. So have a great Friday, Saturday, whatever day it is in the time zone that you're in. Thank you for joining. I appreciate everyone who comes and heckles and laughs and learns. So see you next week.